Jo and Gia, welcome to Latinas Power Talk. Hi.
Hi.
¿Cómo están? How are you girls?
We're good.
Good.
Doing great.
Yeah,
Staying
thank you.
busy.
Staying busy. You guys have been staying busy since 2020 when Corella Co was first founded. How has the last 5 years really been like? Has it been life-changing for you guys?
Oh my God. Where do we start, right?
know.
Yeah. And even when you say 5 years, it does we say this all the time. It feels like 20 to us.
I know people say,
Because
"Oh, it's been 5 years,"
evolution.
but you guys are like, "It's been 5 years." You know?
Yeah. Well, it's because we work on this 24/7, right?
Yeah.
So we live it, we breathe it, and so we feel every minute for sure.
But I think honestly, you guys brought something to the Valley that was so needed, especially in 2020. I feel like the conversations were barely getting started of like more inclusivity, promoting, just like different sizes, and you're beautiful in whatever size or jean size or anything that you are. So I think it was something that like you guys have really changed kind of like the industry here for the better. I know your Instagram says that you guys are really trying to work hard on like realigning the model mindset.
Right.
Why did you guys decide to form a brand and a company based on that?
She's like you. Well, a lot of it had to do with foundationally. We just seeked the same things, right? So for us doing this in the industry, like many years back, of course, how do we evolve from just your standard requirements of a model? How do we stand out? And so it became more of a mission, is what we call it now, because again, we saw things that other people didn't see at the time, and so COVID kind of hit hard, and so it was one of those things that it opened our eyes to what we can actually do with this kind of program. So essentially, when Jo introduced it, it was like eye-opening, because again, we thought it was going to be, let's just gather people together, let's just create this space where we can foster or nurture the culture of modeling, but also through different art, right? And so yeah, that showed us 100 people showed up, and so at that point we were like, oh, this is really amazing, what can we do with this? And so just to that point, our coaches right now, they started with us from season 1, from that generation. And so
It's been a growing family then, you know?
yes, and
Yeah.
you've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it and I've experienced it, and you guys pour your heart into every single student. I don't know if you call them students, but every single person that touches Corella Co, like you guys really invest in them. And it's so much more than just modeling from what I got to experience. It's more so like also like self-esteem, having confidence in yourself, knowing how to speak, like tools that are going to like lead them on to success and whatever they choose. Like even if it's not a path that later on they're like, you know what, I don't want to do modeling anymore. Those are the skills that you guys teach them that like can be applied in any industry, honestly. I know you both, prior to starting the modeling academy, have had your own modeling experience. So what did you guys, from your personal experience, feel like was lacking in this space?
Well, I started in pageantry, which is different,
A little
but not
different, right?
different. They're sisters, we call them.
Yeah.
And pageantry opened the doors for me in many ways. That's actually where I met Gia. Forever grateful. Pageantry truly changed my life. And I started to freelance as a model. So I did a lot of more e-commerce, beauty work. I am petite, so no runway for me. At the time, it was a lot more strict, right? Now things have changed, but that was just even 5 years ago, right? And so what I lived versus what she lived is completely different. Things have become much more inclusive. And that's only happened because of the people that, have paved the way. And that's why we always say we're paving the way, because every student that comes in is making a difference, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because like I said, back in 2020, I feel like the conversations were barely starting to like hit social media of like, we need more body inclusivity. Let's be real. Like you guys have exposure to so many brands and so many people who are out there working in the industry. Do you really think that there's change being made? Like, do you think like on a global scale, brands are being more open to having fresh new faces that back in the day didn't fit the quote unquote like standards for modeling?
Oh yeah.
Or is it like slowly progressing?
Oh, yeah.
It is to a certain extent,
Yeah.
but I think just the advantage now that most models have is the digital world, right? So
Right.
now you can do this from anywhere. And so what has happened and transpired, obviously, with everyone that touches this kind of work is going to be really basically you're readily available for any type of branding. So yes, has it opened a lot of doors? Absolutely. But we also see where we can do more, right? And so choosing the right candidates for obviously this program is one of the key things that we look at, because again, the person in front of us is paving the way for the next one. And so that's just as an important factor of how we do this program, is because again, we want to make sure that we select the right people that want to be here. And obviously, like we say, we don't recruit for this, but we offer our services. But I really want people that want to take advantage of this kind of training. Yeah.
So what are the types of people that you do look for?
In certain aspects, I think we want people that have aspirations of modeling, but also identify with self-improvement. They want to do better. They want to do things and work on those things individually. But the bigger picture is that, I can lead you to water. I can't make you drink it. So you have to be able to like resource and be a little bit more understanding of how much work it takes to do this kind of job.
Oh yeah.
And so if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to put in the work, I think most of the models that obviously they're true to their calling is because, again, they're not only consistent, and it's because they really dive into working at it. And so that means practice. That means, doing the things that we normally have to be told to do. And now they're actually doing them on their own, obviously with our help. And I think that's where you come from. We do nurture our students in a way, and it's for a reason. We really want this to work, right? And we really want models to have the safe space. We want them to have the resources. We want it to have firsthand knowledge of what it looks like out there. So for us, I think it's a bigger mission that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe you guys work with such a pivotal age group of one, like teens and young adults who are still trying to find themselves and trying to see what the world is like and who they want to be and what they want to do. I have seen personally, and you guys can tell me if you guys have seen the same thing, that I feel like there's been a decline in young adults feeling confident, like over the course of the years. And I don't know if it's social media has impacted that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yes,
sure
it
it did,
has.
That
because
is it. Exactly what it
there's
has impacted.
so much like comparison nowadays. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
can scroll on your phone and just find anyone and pick and choose like, oh, well, I don't have that, or she looks like that and I don't, or so forth, right? So I mean, what have you guys seen? Like you guys have been in this industry for years. Like,
Well, that was part of the reason why we launched in 2020 as well, because 2020 was such a pivotal year. Like you said, it was a year that a lot of brands couldn't hire models physically, so they had to hire influencers to sell their products or their services.
Right.
And so then it became more than a model, right? It became somebody with a voice, somebody with a powerful story, somebody
with
captivating.
the purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now that's what a lot of agencies look for too when they interview the models. Okay, you're beautiful, but what makes you stand out, right? What is your story? And so that's where we come in, right? And that's our favorite part. A lot of people ask us, like, what is success to you guys? Or, how many success stories do you have? And we're like, well, what is success to you, right?
Right.
For us, it's when somebody walks differently. They walk out confident and it affects their everyday choices. It's not just the modeling aspect. Like you said, it's the confidence that they find here. We have a lot of parents that come to us and thank us because they're young kids, were able to find themselves and in their careers. And it wasn't just modeling. It could have been anything within the arts, right? Singers, business owners, creative directors, stylists, photographers, anything, you name it. So it's been incredible to witness, honestly.
I feel like that's a conversation of like the impact of social media that has had on like teens and young adults, and even like you know, we're growing up with it. So what does it impact even like once we're adults and so forth, right? So I think you made a good point that I hadn't thought about, that I think like COVID really did shift mindsets because we were at home all the time, and what were we doing? We weren't meeting with people, so we were scrolling online, right?
Yeah.
So I never kind of like understood the root of like where that came from, but that totally makes sense. Like we talk about like social emotional well-being, and how like there's a lot of kids now who don't know how to interact in classrooms and stuff like that because they were at home. So like it's just like a domino effect, and I think it's beautiful that you guys are giving people the tools to be confident. How do you teach being confident though?
Ooh, that's why our program is 8 months long. Let's start there. A lot of people have asked us, why don't you do, quick 1 hour sessions or 2 hour? And it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It is not, confidence is not something that you learn overnight. It is a mindset, right? It is a choice, and it's a lifelong journey that you constantly have to work at.
Yeah, and it translates obviously in your work, right? And so what we see, and when we talk about this, is every time we take an image, what is the story you're telling? And so that's where I think we identify with the models, because again, you have to own who you are. You have to really love internally who you are as a person. And here, and I emphasize this, we are not trying to change them. We're trying to change them, not physically. I think more of the mindset, more of like how they can grow, how they can be good with themselves. So that's the bigger picture. Of course, you don't get to see that online. That's a deep dive we have in class. And so for us, that's very special because, again, we work with students that not all of them want to be models, okay? This is not the goal either. They somehow feel that this space allows them to be themselves, and it allows them to grow their own skill sets, whatever that is, for them. Do we have the resources and tools to be able to explore that? Absolutely. But we also want to emphasize how important it is to seek what you're basically good at, what you really love, and that's really where it becomes a little bit more intentional for us.
I'm hearing you say all this, and like one thing that comes to mind is like it's not just a modeling academy, it's about personal development and like investing in yourself,
Yes, 100%.
What are your age ranges that you like cater to?
Mainly I want to say 15 to 25 is like
that's
the most common age
Take us
range.
through kind of like you say it's an 8 month process. What does that process look like? I'm sure you have people who come in different levels too. Like some people are super confident and super expressive, and others are a little bit more timid and reserved. Like how do you make it, and it like how do you balance teaching so many different ranges of personalities, and how do you do that?
Well, that's why we interview everybody. We don't just accept anybody into the program. We want to make sure that the candidates that come in also align with our goals and our mission, and that we're able to help them. We're very realistic with them, right? If they're looking to become stars overnight, we'll tell them right away, this is probably not the place for you, But right now we're working with 4 seasons at a time. So
Wow.
it's a lot, but we do cap the classes of 10 candidates per season. So it's more manageable. And really, I mean, the coaches, we have 2 coaches in place. So it's a male and a female, Jonathan and Mel.
I know Mel.
You know
Yes.
Mel.
I
Yes.
know Mel. Yes.
Okay.
Wait, so did you model with us when she was already a coach, or?
She was a coach already when I started.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to remember what.
Yeah.
I only came to 2 sessions.
Right. I know it wasn't long, right?
It was not. My time was very limited, and I am very sorry for that. I am very sorry for
Take that out of the video. I'm just kidding.
No, I am. Like, it is such a great program, and I wish I was in a different place in my life to have like completed it. But from what I did experience, like it was very hands-on. Like you guys aren't just joking around. And I think that's something that like is so special about you guys. Like I've been acting for years, and like it's sometimes very difficult to find coaches or to find programs or companies that are authentic, that care. and that aren't just going to rip you off and,
Right.
you know, that are legitimate. And as soon as I stepped in, I'm like, oh, they mean business. Like, you know, we're in here to work, you know, and come
Yeah.
out better than how we entered. So I will say that, you know, if there's one thing that I can take back time and do over again, it'd definitely be that, you know, because I think it's such a beautiful experience. And like you say, you don't choose anyone. So like what an honor to be like one of the 10, 15 people that was chosen for that season. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry I let you guys down, honestly.
Stop it.
No. And individually, like we said, you know, you guys have different goals and aspirations. And if you go through the process and you feel like, you know, this is not for you, that's still okay. You know
Yeah.
what? We've had
It's not for
students,
everyone, for sure.
we've had students that still to this day are very grateful for the time they were here.
Yeah.
Because again, they understand the bigger picture of how much we do invest into our program, into every single individual we touch. Like that's just for us unwavering. Like we cannot deviate from that.
Yes, everyone who I know who has been through Corella Co has loved it. So when you were starting, did you face any kind of like judgment in the beginning? Because like I said, you guys were really paving the way. Did you? I want the tea, girl. I want the
This is gonna
tea.
get
We're
good.
unfiltered here.
I'm like, no, Gia, don't
I'm
worry.
not
She's always like, you say too much.
yeah, I'm like kicking her under
You're
the
like,
table.
don't build
I'm
your
like,
bridges.
"Wait,
Don't.
it's
What is
wrong."
it? Don't burn your bridges. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I started when I was 19.
Yeah.
And so, very vulnerable. I was very, I don't know, accepting of everyone in a way. I couldn't read through people right away or their intentions. And so I welcomed everybody in. You know, it was a lot of people in my team. I was learning leadership. I didn't realize the importance of like, you know, saying no. I didn't have boundaries. And so a lot of that did affect a lot of things. But again, I made mistakes and I learned from them, and that's okay. When Gia came in, though, just kidding. She really helped. She really has taught me how to like put my foot down, set boundaries, and be a better leader. And to this day, she's the one that really the backbone of the business, right? Where she teaches us how to be better leaders.
Let's talk about that a little bit because I feel like when you are new to this industry, anything in entertainment, like modeling, acting, whatever, right? I feel like there's like such a pressure to say yes to everything.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
I want to just like absorb every opportunity that's coming my way and like
Right.
I don't want to burn any bridges. I don't want to like rub people the wrong way. Or you just like you kind of like adapt into that kind of personality, which is not for the best sometimes because
Right.
then people start to take advantage of you or you don't like do things that are authentic to what you want to do.
Right.
So how did you learn at what point to be like, you know what, I don't want to do this and it's okay to say no?
When she came in, so I called her back a few months after I had already started, and I was scared to tell her like, yeah, I dropped out of college and you know started. But when she came in, she pretty much restructured everything, from students to leadership, everything. The entire layout was restructured, and so she explained to me, you know, the importance of their team members. Leadership is everything. Who you have as mentors and things like that, that is what is going to set the foundation of everything. And so that's when I realized, especially when, you know, I started to see things in a different perspective and things were not running the way that we wanted them to run. That's when I realized like, okay, where did this go wrong, you know? And saying yes to please people is not the route to go.
So you were running the show basically by yourself.
Yes, with a lot of team members. It was a mess.
It was a mess, but you learned from it.
Yes,
and now you
it
got
was
to
the
this
best
point, you know?
learning experience. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the thing is, we were trying to build a community since day one, right? But that didn't mean that everybody had to have a role of, I don't know, ownership in the company. That was just insane. Yeah.
But I mean, you were also very young,
Yeah.
which is really impressive. Like you have to give yourself props for that
Thank you.
because you were what, like
19.
19,
Yeah.
20? Yeah, like running a business, girl. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot of learning. It's been a lot of learning for sure.
She was eager, and
Yeah.
you know, she got you. I think she did the right thing, you know, to start something because you're never gonna be in the right place at the right time. Okay,
That
this
is
is
true.
not what this is. When you want to do something, you dive into it and you learn as you go. That's just the way it is.
Oh yeah, and I mean,
You know?
like I'm telling you, that's the one thing that since day one we are so passionate about this, both of us. Like we had the conversation when we agreed to do this together. The vision is one, we are one, and that's that, right? And
Yeah.
so we used to live together, and I'm telling you, we're hungry for this, right? Like we're really passionate about it, so we work really hard. And so I think the behind the scenes part that nobody sees is like, I mean, we have what we have for a reason, right? Your business speaks for itself, for your
So let's talk about that, because
Yes.
you said the behind the scenes, and I feel like people see only what's on social
glamour.
media, the
Yes.
glamour, everything's shining and everything's perfect.
Right.
But like, I'm sure it's been hard. Like, what is
Yeah.
something that you wish people knew more of, like, that you guys had to go through to get to this point?
Oof.
Which part?
I think, even in any business you do, and I used to consult businesses, that was my job before this. And so I used to work with people just like us that were starting a business, didn't know what was happening, didn't know why people were quitting or why they weren't doing their jobs. You know what I mean? And so when you start a business, that's just part of growth and like learning, right? But also like it tells you a lot of how you can actually benefit from those circumstances.
Right.
And so it evolves into being more in tune with everything that's happening. Being a leader is not just showing up, but also setting the standard, setting the example. If you want people to show up early, well, then why aren't you here? And so I'm very, determined about that. Like they know this, and the coaching team knows this, that, you guys are a reflection of the business, however you want to look at it. If you're under our umbrella, it's the same thing. I want you guys to sound just like us. Why? Because we're a team. We're a team. And so, as my job really is mostly to educate and make sure the coaches are already not only educated, but also are in tune with everything that's current. So we don't teach things that even happened 5 years ago. So this is stuff that's running right now in the fashion industry.
real
So
It
time.
has changed since 2020.
everything is real time.
Yeah.
So models, and this is something that I learned from you guys, because I know the first class that we had, we talked about branding and everything. Like, you are your brand.
Yep.
And now with social media, like, what you post is also what people are going to pick up from, like, what you
yes.
bring and stuff. So tell us a little bit about what you teach people here of, like, building their brand and what that looks like and what it should look like for people who are, like, trying to figure it out at home.
Yeah, well, to start off, social media is everything. You're absolutely right. We talked about how it affects mental health and all, but we could either run away from it or run with it and, take advantage of the pros of it.
Social
And
media
so-
is a good and bad thing.
Yes.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yes. And now it's become, a great paveway or foundation for people to really start their businesses and branding. And so models, a lot of them are actually getting scouted by a lot of agents, great management teams, even great companies through their social media.
Right.
And a lot of our models that have been successful have been scouted because of their branding online. And so it's really incredible to witness how important it is and how much your consistency online does affect how you're seen, essentially.
How you're viewed.
Yeah.
It really is,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a lot of pressure. But
Right.
what do you think, okay, if someone out there is, like, aspiring to be a model,
Right.
what do you think their feed should look like?
Well, it's not necessarily, a lot of models think that their social media is their portfolio, right? So they think that it's all professional
Yeah.
photos only, but that's not what agents are looking at. They really want to see somebody authentic, like we said, somebody with a voice, somebody normal, somebody relatable, maybe somebody inspiring. And so it's important to showcase a little bit of you. You don't want to showcase everything about your personal life, right? But it is important to show a little bit of you, a little bit of your professional side, your aspirations, what you like. So it is a strategy thing, right? Trying to figure out, how do I put all of that online? So it's a matter of practicing, and we don't want everybody's social media to look the same. We want them to, like, you look at it and it showcases them, right? Not
It's a little
us.
glimpse into you.
Yes, it's a highlight reel, what we call it.
Yes. And I think also like nowadays, like managers, agents are looking for personality more than ever. Like,
Yes, personality videos are a thing now.
Yes.
You don't
Yeah.
just submit your digital photos, you submit an actual personality video.
Do you really?
Yes, you do.
Oh, no way.
30-second personality video, yes.
And what's in it? Like,
It's you introducing yourself, giving
Yeah.
yourself a little bit more of
Fun
like
facts.
insight on you
Okay.
as a person and what you do. And again, this is why we teach and our curriculum changes all the time, is because again, if something like that pops up and we're like, okay, now they're asking for this. Now we got to put it into our curriculum and fit it in, and how do we teach it? So our classes are based on that. So we got to actually come up with the whole entire class around this, right? So we do, and we incorporate it into our communication side of this. So we've incorporated that because again, our models are now more than just a pretty face.
Yes.
They're actual voices out there. They're actually brand ambassadors. They're beautiful representations of like branding and everything else in between, right? And so how do we do that? And so that's why our structure is constantly changing and evolving, and it's for the better. It's because again, we need stuff in real time, not what happened, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
what shouldn't you post on social media?
Ooh.
That's a great question. I mean, we steer away from anything drama related, anything negative or bashing people and things like that. That's not really good for your brand in general, right? You don't want to be a part of those things. So we do not do any of that. And we encourage our students as well. It's even in their agreement forms when signing to not post anything like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we also have a responsibility, not only to our audience, but also, in their own right. They're seeking our advice for a reason, and so, it's at that point where they realize, like, oh, they meant my social media. Like, it's a give and take, and it really is for the better, because again, we know what agents, what people out there, brands are looking for. And so obviously we tell them, trust the process, because it is that. And so we allow them still to be themselves, but in a very, credible way, in a very high fashion way, editorial, however you want to put it, but it's still them. We never deviate from that it has to still be you, true to you.
Yeah.
Keep it personable, but also keep it professional.
Yes,
at the same time.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
You two are now also the co-directors of Miss Arizona USA. How exciting. So tell me all about it. I want the tea. Like, how did this come about? Like,
It was a shock.
it was a shock?
Yes, I mean, it's obviously been a dream of
surprise.
ours since we started directing in general. I always said one day we want to be there, right? We want to make a change. We want to rebrand. We want to do so many
Yeah.
great things in this organization. And so we never expected it to happen. And we were actually done with pageants. We said we're not doing that anymore. We were going to focus full time on our model academy. It was just a lot for us to handle at the time. And it was a lot for us. And so...
But we benefited from it. Obviously, we had beautiful candidates. I
Like
mean,
Nessa.
just, yeah. I mean, they're true, like, just great. I don't know. I don't even know how to say it into words, because these girls represent so much in the industry, right? And so it was beautiful for us to be part of that.
Yes.
And so as a team, when we are doing pageants, and people see it as just so superficial, and it really isn't. There's so much work behind the scenes that, again, a lot of people don't see. Yes, these girls are stunning. These girls are beautiful, but there's more to them. And so that's where, it gets interesting. It gets really connected to their audience. But that was a really great moment in our time, I think, because, we were awarded like Directors of the Year. I mean, those are things that obviously we don't seek that, but people saw it, which is what we always wanted. We were like, okay, we just want people to acknowledge our hard work.
Yeah.
That's it. It wasn't even, obviously we won. That was different.
Yes, we won.
We won the title.
That year, when we say we, it's our girl won that year, but obviously it takes a village, right? And so it's a sport. If you really don't know anything about pageantry, these girls go all in every year that they compete. And so it is a whole different sport, and it truly changes your life, how you see life, how you are as a person. And so that's why we're still here. But yeah, Sebastian, the executive producer, he's one of our best friends and brother, we call him. And when he was reached out to by the organization to become the next, Arizona director, we were his first phone call. He was like, wow. Do you guys want to do this with us? And we're like, are you kidding? Yes.
This is
no
a yes.
hesitation.
I don't even have to think about this.
Yes. We just knew right away that we could bring something to the table and make a difference, essentially.
I will say you guys have like the biggest role. I think anyone who's in this industry would wish for your guys' position right now. Like, really? And I am so excited to see how you guys take and rebrand the organization for the better. Because like what you guys are applying here, like I feel like the world needs to see more of that. So I'm so excited to see what you guys two cook up. But what do you look for in the next queen then?
Ooh.
What do you want to see?
We just really want some authentic confidence. Yeah. Somebody who's just easygoing, but at the same time captivating and inspiring, and really wanting to serve her community, because that's the number one thing in pageantry. It's not about what you get from it, it's what you give back. And I think that's where a lot of girls get confused. And it's not about them, it's what are you going to do to make a difference. And so we're really looking for somebody that is ready for Miss USA and what's next. So
representation of that title in itself is huge. And so that's the way we see it. And I think for us as directors and seeing it from behind the scenes, we want to take on this role with our new title holder, but also understand what her goal is, because again, they're an extension of us in anything we do. So I think it's going to be a great year to do this. So
you talked about rebranding. What are some things you want to change up? Can you tell us?
You're like, there's a list.
I know, right?
There's a list.
I mean, well, again, going back to social media, okay, let's start there. Social media is everything, right? So we had to start from scratch on the social media accounts. We don't have access to the old Miss Arizona USA accounts, and so we're okay with that. We're really excited. We already have 1,000 followers, and we just started in May, so we're really excited. But yeah, social media is the number one step, I would say. It's really showcasing what Miss USA and Miss Universe and their quality is about. And so we have to showcase that online as well. But not just that, but we're also working a lot on our partnerships and the people that we want to do this with as well. And fun fact, but Arizona has never won Miss USA. So that's in our goal list right now. We really want the next title holders to experience what it is to have a great team and a village behind them. And so we want to make sure that they're covered on all ends and prepared in the interview and the walk, training, on-stage presence, social media rebranding for them as well, and the content that we produce for them, wardrobe branding, everything. So we're really excited to really highlight the girls and hopefully place, in Miss USA or even win one day. That's our goal right now.
I'm manifesting that for you guys. I can see it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I think the biggest change for the candidates at state level, which is normally like, from what we hear, you just show up and compete. But for us, it's still a journey, right? You still have to enjoy the ride while you get there, kind of thing.
It can be intimidating, right? It's scary for the girls, especially if they walk in not having any experience. And some girls compete over and over until they win, but there's those that walk in and they have no idea what it's about. So the experience is very important.
You have experience. Would you ever consider getting back into pageantry?
No.
No?
Once you're on the other side, there's no going back. Yeah, I enjoy the other side so much. I would not want to.
You don't miss it?
No. I fell in love with the other side, seeing the evolution of the girls, and it's different because we get to be the ones to provide things for them and serve them, and so it's
more fulfilling.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
More
competitive for some reason. I don't know why.
More competitive than Like
being
actually being in the pageant.
it feels like it, yes, because you
Really?
have a lot of pressure. You're the one preparing your girl, right? You're preparing
Yeah.
the girls. You have a lot of pressure essentially on making
a
sure that your
director, yeah.
girls,
Well,
have
obviously, maybe,
sponsors and
better said is that most directors don't take on that role like we do. Maybe we're a little bit
More
much.
hands-on.
a little extra.
But that's okay.
But
More
We
thought.
like it that way.
We love
More
it.
thorough.
Pageants,
know.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, but that's where we see it. If we have a candidate in front of us, like, why not teach her everything? Why not, make her the best version of whatever we
I mean,
need
that's
to
the
do.
point of why you
mean,
guys are there,
And
Vanessa
so,
Smith, the one
Nessa.
that just
Yeah.
got here, she's a prime example. So she started with us as a student at Corella Co in 2020, actually, or 2021. And she's strict high fashion model, very serious, she has a great personality, but she didn't know how to showcase that. And so one day when we were doing a teen pageant at the time, we were like, Vanessa Smith, you're doing our pageant. And she was like, what? I am not doing a pageant. That is so cringy. And she can speak for itself, right? But she came to our info session and, I was like, are you doing it? Are you convinced? Did we? And she was like, nope, I don't. Let me think about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, she just wasn't really resonating with what it was. And so we finally convinced her to do the pageant and she ended up winning.
Wow.
And after that, we prepared her for nationals and she wasn't a fan of the journey just yet. I think it took her a while to like fall in love with the process. She ended up winning nationals, which is a big deal. And after that, I think it's when she truly transformed as a person within the pageant industry. And she's accomplished incredible things. And so she's prime example of why we love what we do. And the things that she does now is like, wow, like she's the role model that we look up to, right?
Yeah.
A lot of our title holders, but she just came, so I just wanted to talk about
Would you
her.
say that in the beginning, like, you may not like it in the beginning, but then you fall in love with it? Because you just mentioned something like she wasn't a fan in the beginning.
Yes.
And because again, I think it's the unknown, right? You
Yes.
don't know what you're getting yourself into, and it's scary for people. And they're like, "Wait, what is this really about?"
Yeah.
And so I think when they see it on the surface, again, it's really beautiful, and you're on stage, great. Some girls want more. What is this? What is this gonna do for me?
Yeah.
I think that the mindset
know?
going in has a
Yeah.
lot to do with it because sometimes girls come in and they're like, I'm here to win, right? And we're like, okay, let's rewind a little bit. Okay, let's walk in with a different mindset. And again, it's not about you. It's about what you bring to the community. How are you inspiring others? How are you a role model? And so it does affect everything. If you walk into it new with that mindset, it's really difficult. You have to walk into it with really wanting to gain an experience out of it and learn something from it. My best pageant was the one that I didn't win. I
Yeah.
always say that because I learned the most from it. I ended up winning later on, what I worked hard for, and I learned from it and I trained for it eventually when I got the experience. But it took me a few times, and that's
Yeah.
okay. And I think some people should embrace that and their journeys. Everyone's timeline is different. Sometimes they walk in and they win the first time, and sometimes they
Takes
don't.
a few tries.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say? I want to ask this to both of you guys. What have you learned from each other through these last 5 years?
What have I not learned?
I'm like, where do we start? You?
I go first.
Yeah, you.
Oh, thank you for asking that. I that's a really great question because I love to talk about what Gia has taught me. Obviously, she's my role model, right? And so I think growing up, I definitely didn't have that figure or woman in my life that I could look up to. Generally, like, wow, I aspire to be like this woman when I grow up. And so when we lived together and we worked together, she was my boss. I have learned a lot from her. And so I think the most important thing that she's taught me is choices and how they affect everything that we do. We all have choices, and so every time I'm about to make a choice, I think about every outcome, every possibility, if this is what I really want, taking those things seriously and how time is so valuable, especially at a young age, I think that's so important for us to really encourage our youth nowadays is to take time as something valuable. Every day counts. Do something that's going to benefit your future. Don't just sit around.
That is true.
And do something for yourself, and so I
Yeah.
think that's the most beautiful lesson that Gia has taught me is making choices for myself every day and making my time valuable. And so that's why we work hard.
I love that. I feel like sometimes as humans we're so selfish when it comes to time, that we're like, oh, we can do it later. We'll do it later.
Right.
But we truly never know how much time we have, you know? Might as well take
Exactly.
advantage
Every
of
day
now.
counts,
Yeah,
literally.
it does.
Every day counts. If you want to be a model, if you want to start a business, work on it, on your craft every day.
I love that.
Consistency is everything.
Yes.
It's everything, yeah. And for me, like Jo, obviously as young as she is, I think that's inspiring for everyone around her. And I think she brings that light to everybody. She's the one that basically you can go to and she peps you up, no matter she's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but that's her answer. I don't know what I'm doing, but I just want to make them feel better, And so, I think working alongside with Jo just brings that more in me. And so with that, we balance each other, right? Because again, maybe I have, been in such roles that required me to be a little bit less emotional. I think I'm the most emotional here.
Things have changed for sure. Reverse. I'm just kidding.
But it's for the good, because again, I tend to want to the best for everyone, but at the same time, obviously, I don't have control of that. So the best thing I can do for them is to allow them to, like Jo said, make choices and let them know that every single moment, like when you wake up, your choice to make your bed, your choice to make
And
breakfast.
the little things, it's so important, guys.
Yeah, it's so important because it shows how important not only your space is to you, little things, right? You should be practicing gratitude from the time you wake up. And that's the way of showing it. And so be grateful for what you have every day. And, and how you do that is through your choices. Embrace everything that comes your way, but also, have boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah, because not everything's meant for us. We've had doors closed on us, and we talked about struggles. Hey, we've struggled through this. Believe me. Maybe you guys don't see it, but it's the reality of a business. And so we've had to make some tough choices. And but then again, we're still true to who we are. The integrity's still there. People ask us why don't you just let them all in? I mean, and you'd probably make a lot of money. I'm like, well, to be honest, we never set out to do this for the money. It really wasn't. It was more of how can we make a difference in this industry while we're still here, while we have what we have, and keep cultivating the community, and so that is empowering in itself. And so I think we do a great job of keeping that alive.
You do. I will say you do. Very well said.
Thank you.
Because I can see it. One last question. Where do you guys want to see the future of modeling? What do you want it to look like? If you had a canvas and can paint a perfect picture for that industry, what would it look like?
I love that.
In a broader sense, I guess we would want, more of what we see on our end, embracing people for who they are and not what they bring. I think the industry in itself, when you allow people to be themselves and true to who they are, it paints such a beautiful picture. And I think more and more so, especially obviously with us being our goal, it can make a difference. We can make a change in this world. So it's just becoming a reality for us more so. And even then, I don't think we'll ever finish, that goal. It'll keep going. It'll keep,
Let's
reinventing
talk about the AI
itself.
stuff. I'm just kidding.
It'll keep reinventing itself, I'm
Yeah.
sure. So, yes.
Yeah, and for me, it's more. I would like to see less scams. I know it's hard. I know it's hard.
My God.
Or not. Maybe we can't control that, but these models fall for it so easily, and it's scary. Actually, it's so scary.
What's
We've
like
seen
the most frequent scam you've seen?
the most frequent ones.
Are agents or want they're not real, obviously. That
A
are
lot of
seeking
productions too.
Yeah.
They charge like $3,000, $4,000 to just walk in the show, and they promise you certain things, and it's not right. It's not real. It's not right.
real,
And these
yeah.
models come in, with the dream, right? And they're like working hard to invest in it with everything that they have for it to like. We get a lot of those that come and interview with us, and they're like, I experienced this and I paid this much, and we're like, oh my gosh, that hurts. Yeah. It really sucks, honestly.
But
So is it like for anyone watching so we can prevent them from getting scams? Like, I know in acting, like, you don't pay for an agent or a manager. They get a percentage of whatever they
Correct.
book you for. Is that the same for modeling?
yeah, I mean, when you do have representation, I mean, they even in your contract, obviously that's something that you can negotiate, but in your contract it's stated, minimum usually is the 20%. But that comes with, their network. You know what I mean? So they
Yeah.
have a much broader reach than anyone else. So, yes, does it benefit everyone? Not in most cases. I mean, some of our models are not represented and do very well.
Right.
So, there's an advantage to both. If you're not self-managed and not you don't have that in you, you probably need a manager. So that's okay. And the long term of this, like Jose, like the scams, is just getting way too good at identifying those things. And so unfortunately we also teach that in the classes, because again, you want 2 or 3 eyes on this contract that you're about to sign, because again, you don't know what it entails. So sometimes it's a little scary. But
Where can people find you guys?
on our website?
Yeah, you can find our website, godeanco.com, or our Instagram at godeanco, Facebook as well, godeanco, and I think TikTok too. Godeanco and all usernames.
Everywhere.
Yes, everywhere.
Let's end the podcast, shall we, with a little model pose.
Oh,
Shall
no.
we? Let's do it. Are you ready?
Sure.
We're going to look into that middle camera.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Okay, all of us?
All of us.
Okay.
Yes. Manny, you do the countdown for us.
He's like, what?
All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh.
I forgot to do model. I was smiling and then I realized it's fine.
No, but
Where's
thank
your
you so much. Thank you for everything that you guys are bringing into the community. It's so special. All the lives that you guys are touching, it's beautiful. I got a little taste of it, and I can say, like, you guys pour your heart into everything. So it's only up from here. Like, I can't wait to see everything else that you guys accomplish. I'll be cheering for you guys on as new co-directors, and I know that's going to take you guys and your mission to, like, a global scale. So
Thank you so
thank you for
much.
your time.
We really appreciate this.
Thank you.